Mr. Zia to come on stage. And before starting the ceremony, let us remind the victims and the affected families of yesterday's tragic incident in Jhalmaksi, Balochistan. I request Mr. Zia to come on stage and offer Fatiha for the victims of the Jhalmaksi.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulil Ameen. Let's pray for the martyrs of yesterday's blast by reciting Fatiha once and Surah Ikhlas thrice and pray. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Malik Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladhina an'amta alayhim ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد اللهم اغفر لحينا وميتنا وشاهدنا وغائبنا وصغيرنا وكبيرنا وذكرنا وأنثانا اللهم من أحييته منا فأحيه على الإسلام ومن توفيته منا فتوفه على الإيمان وصلى اللهم وسلم على سيدنا محمد.
Ladies and gentlemen, our honorable chief guest, Madam Saira Hussain, our respected guest of honors, and our respected partners. I welcome you all on the opening ceremony of the nationwide public pledge campaign, Pehla Zindagi, on right of way and respect for ambulances. This is the second campaign of its nature undertaken as part of the Healthcare in Danger project of ICRC in Pakistan.
Ambulances are a symbol of life, and their respect and right for way cannot be understated. This campaign is all about reminding the general community of their social obligation to ensure that the respect for this right is exhibited every single time they find an ambulance bearing siren.
We can speak with the experience from Karachi last year. The successful and impactful public pledge campaign is not undertaking of a single institution. We were blessed with some amazing partners in Karachi, and their commitment made the campaign such a success. We can now, with the conviction, say that we have been fortunate to have an extended number of partners whose commitment and enthusiasm for the noble cause of the right of way for ambulances will make the campaign a successful story and bring noticeable behavior change in the general public.
Before going into the details about the various components of the public pledge campaign, I would like to invite His Excellency RastaDein, the head of ICRC in Pakistan, for his welcome. His Excellency.
Honorable Sire Afzal Tareq, Federal Minister of Health, Services, Regulation and Coordination, representatives of government departments, police, Rescue 1122, ED Foundation, public and private hospitals and universities, civil society, our valued partners, and last but not least, the representatives of the media. Assalamu alaikum, a very warm welcome. Thanks to all of you for being here today. When the International Committee of the Red Cross was founded more than 150 years ago, it was mainly to carry forward the very simple yet powerful idea that those who are wounded or sick deserve to be treated with respect, and those who give them the care, which very often amounts to saving their lives, are under no circumstances to be harmed or prevented from carrying out their duties. Sadly, more than half a century after these norms were laid down and agreed by states around the world in the form of the Geneva Conventions, we still witness violence and lack of respect towards healthcare across all continents. While the horrific images of Syria and Yemen scream at us from TV screens and from pages of newspapers, healthcare is under threat not only in countries affected by war and conflict, but also in other emergencies and in countries at peace. Indeed, global statistics show us that the medical profession is the most exposed to violence profession in the world today. In the face of this sad reality, the ICC, together with its partners from the Red Cross and Red Crescent movement, the largest humanitarian network globally, has conceived the Healthcare in Danger campaign. Under its umbrella, for the past 6 years, the ICC undertook diplomatic efforts, including encouraging a number of UN General Assembly and World Health Assembly resolutions, which culminated in the landmark UN Security Council Resolution 2286, calling on all states to respect healthcare under all circumstances. The ICC organized numerous international expert workshops on topics ranging from management of ambulance services in high-risk environments to domestic legislation for protection of healthcare, creating a broad range of recommendations that can be used by governments, parliaments, civil society and individual healthcare providers to implement measures for safer healthcare delivery. In many of the 86 countries where the ICC currently works, we mobilized local stakeholders and ran hands-on programs to prevent violence against the carers and those they strive to help. The Pakistan Partnership for Protection of Healthcare from Violence, which started in Karachi in 2014 and is now active in Peshawar and inspiring other provinces, is one of the success stories of the Healthcare in Danger project. The cutting-edge research carried out by Karachi-based academics, innovative training modules, manuals developed and worked on to research and improve legislation would not have been possible without the excellence and commitment brought forward by the Apna Institute of Public Health, Khyber Medical University, Jinnah Postgraduate Medical Center, Israel University, Rescue 1122, Yidi Foundation, Amman Foundation, Lady Reading Hospital, the Pakistan Red Crescent, and the Indus Hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, this gathering is the proof that our ideas have encountered a fertile ground and meet with the support of those who care about the future of this country and the important role that safe and secure provision of healthcare to all plays in its development. When we ran the campaign on the right of way and respect for ambulances in Karachi in 2016, at the end of a 1-month effort, we measured an improvement of 16% in the number of motorists giving way to ambulances. Seeing this success, we decided to take 4 other major cities, all of them facing crowded roads, public not always honoring the services of the ambulance systems to try and tackle the very same issue. Taking the campaign to this scale, with the limited resources at our disposal, has only been possible thanks to the overwhelming positive response of the health departments and the traffic police in Islamabad, Lahore, Rawalpindi, Karachi and Peshawar. It would not have been possible without the broad-reaching network and enthusiasm of public and private organizations like City Administration of Islamabad, Rawalpindi, Peshawar, Karachi and Lahore, federal and provincial ministers of health, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Punjab, Sindh and Islamabad Traffic Police, Alhambra Arts Council, Canteen Stores Department, the Capital Development Authority Islamabad, IIM Karachi, Pakistan State Oil, Shahid Zulfikar Ali Bhutto's Institute of Science and Technology, the University of Health Science in Lahore, and the Youth Parliament of Pakistan. Ladies and gentlemen, this campaign is very important, not only because of the central theme of respect and right of way for ambulances, but also because issue of ambulance obstruction is so emblematic of respect for healthcare services as a whole. It is a complex problem that requires multidisciplinary solutions that encompass the law, policy, behavioral change, and institutional preparedness. While it is clear that the 3 months are not enough for the immense task that we have all given ourselves, I trust that the level of energy and commitment in this hall will embark on this mission together, and I'm hopeful that in the next few years we will be able to reconvene here or elsewhere to celebrate the positive change we have all been part of. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Excellency. Now I would like to request Mr. Shahzad Nawaz to come on stage and share his thoughts about this campaign.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you all of you, our enlightened guests, eminent people, partners, and everybody who's taken time out today to be here. Given that today is Friday, we are hard pressed for time. I would like to take this opportunity to just give you a little feeler of the campaign that is essentially going to be rolled off, essentially after the event today. हमने कहा कि इस कैंपेन का जो नुक्ता दबाव है वो ये है कि जिंदगी की दौड़ वो नहीं कि कौन किससे आगे निकल गया, बल्कि जिंदगी की दौड़ रोड पे भागती वो एम्बुलेंस लगा रही है जिसे हमने जिताना। और एम्बुलेंस को रास्ता दे, क्योंकि पहला हक जिंदगी का है। This is the theme and this is the theme that we are carrying forward to our audiences. उसकी वजह है कि in the basis of all the manifest of any communication, हम सबको पता है कि एम्बुलेंस देखने में कैसी होती है। हमें यह भी पता है कि एम्बुलेंस की आवाज जब एक सड़क पर चीखती हुई आती है और जिंदगी की आपसे रहम की अपील मांगती है तो वो कैसा सुनाई देती है। हमें यह भी पता है कि जब एम्बुलेंस रोड पे दौड़ रही होती है और उसकी रेड लाइट बीकन कर रही होती है तो वो दरअसल आपसे इल्तिजा कर रही होती है उस हक का जिसका नाम जिंदगी है। This campaign will formally, in terms of the pledge, and details will come later as we all hopefully take that pledge today, and one that I proudly wear. It is sometimes in societies and in modern political economy, हमारे पास तीन चीजों का फुकदान हो जाता है, scarcities of three things: time, attention, and respect. और क्योंकि हमारे पास वक्त नहीं होता, हम उस चीज को उसकी ड्यू अटेंशन नहीं दे पाते, वो तवज्जो जिसकी वो मुस्तहिक है, हम उसके साथ वो एम्पैथी, वो रिस्पेक्ट डेवलप नहीं कर पाते। और शायद कुछ ऐसा ही हमारी रोडों पर हुआ। We forgot that in our rat race there was another race which was far more essential, and that was that struggle, that life and death. Thereby, this campaign, which for the first time for ICRC, globally, we are looking at holistic campaign, which means हमने digital media को engage किया। हमारी पहली बार apps हैं जिसका आप देखेंगे, Android और iOS की, जिसको बहुत simple है, आप download करेंगे और आप pledge लेंगे। और वो छोटा सा वो एक अहद है जो कि लोगों की जिंदगियों में I think inspiration होगा। ना सिर्फ ये कि बल्कि आप में से अक्सर वो लोग और मीडिया के लोग, हमारे हैशटैग्स हैं बड़े सिंपल है, रास्ता दे और पहले जिंदगी, जिसको आप अपने चैटर में, अपनी कम्युनिकेशन में, अपने ट्वीट्स में लाएं। एंड दिस इज हाउ वी rekindle that diminishing civic sense that was part of our tradition very much for a civilization that is 5,000 and some say 8,000 years old. This campaign is reaching out across Pakistan primarily, as the head of mission said, the cities, but being digital and also going on television and radio, we will have our secondary audiences as well. We had hoped to take it nationwide, and it is in so many ways nationwide. But this is also our first step, and we wish to take it further with all your cooperation and help. The only request I would like to make is इसको share करें. ये छोटा सा एक अहद जो है ये बहुत आगे जाएगा, और शेयर करना हम सबसे शुरू होगा आज, फिर हमारे घरों में, हमारे दफ्तरों में, हमारे दोस्तों और अहबाबों तक, हमारे बच्चों तक, हमारे रफ़ाक़ा तक, so that we are able to save them. I thank you very much for being here once again, and hope that you register yourself in the app that we have provided on iOS and Android. And I hope that you will all be registering and helping us spread this message. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Shahzad, for such thought-provoking words. Ladies and gentlemen, I would request our chief guest, Madam Saira Afzal, to come on stage for the pledge that we have to take. Thank you very much. I request all the guests to please rise and stand for taking a pledge.
मैं सायरा अफजल आप सब अपना प्रणाम दें। अपने दिल से अहद करती कि मैं हमेशा एम्बुलेंस को रास्ता दूंगी, क्योंकि पहला हक जिंदगी का है। और मैं अहद करती हूँ कि मैं इस पैगाम को लोगों तक पहुँचाने में मदद करूंगी, ताकि हम सब मिलकर जिंदगियां बचा सकें। अल्लाह ताला इस मिशन में हमें कामयाब करे, आमीन।
Thank you very much, ma'am. The nationwide public pledge campaign will comprise of various components of media, such as electronic, print, and social media. The various outdoor activities that have been planned together with our partners. Additionally, we have developed a dedicated website and a pledge app, allowing our people to join and support this cause. Our esteemed media consultant, Mr. Shahzad Nawaz, has been kind enough to come up with a multi-pronged and cohesive structure of the campaign. TV spots are an important component of the plan. Before moving ahead, we would like to present the video spots that will be aired on various TV channels.
हम वक्त पर पहुंच गए थे, मगर वो तकरीबन हिम्मत हार चुकी थी। खुदा ने उनको सेहतमंद औलाद से नवाजा। एम्बुलेंस को रास्ता दे, जिंदगी को रास्ता दे। हम ट्रैफिक में फंसे हुए थे, दर्द और वक्त दोनों से लड़ रही थी। उस ट्रैफिक पुलिस वाले ने हमारे लिए रास्ता बनाया। हम वक्त पर पहुंच गए थे, मगर वो तकरीबन हिम्मत हार चुकी थी। खुदा ने उनको सेहतमंद औलाद से नवाजा।
I hope you found the video appealing and engaging. request Madam Sajda Bandukwala of Aman Foundation, a partner in the campaign and a social enterprise focused on catalyzing impactful solutions in health and education in Pakistan, to come on stage and share her thoughts on the right of way for ambulances with us. Madam Sajda Bandukwala, please.
Honorable Chief Guest, Saira Tarar Sahiba, Federal Minister for Health, His Excellency Rita Stoker, Head of Delegation for ICRC, my colleagues and friends from partner organizations, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. It was March 2015. I was visiting from London because of my father's ailing health. On March 23rd, his condition worsened and I panicked. I asked my friend what to do and she said, call for an Aman ambulance. I did, and I was pleasantly surprised at the professionalism demonstrated by the staff and how they handled the matter. Shortly after, we were on our way to the Khan hospital and were occasionally met by pockets of traffic, unwilling to give way. I looked at the paramedic with horror and I asked him, "Kya Karachi mein log rasta nahi dete hain? Do people in Karachi not give way?" To which he responded, "Baji main kya bataun, itne bemurabat log hain yahan pe. People are just so inconsiderate. What can I tell you?" I was desperately looking at my father, who continued to struggle for his life, despite being given adequate life support by the ambulance. By the time we reached the hospital, his condition had worsened, and he became quite poorly, and later that day he passed away. That was a life-changing moment for me, and from being a hardcore telecommunication professional, I took a 180-degree turn in my career and decided to move to Karachi and work for the Aman Foundation. For those of you who are not familiar with the Aman Foundation, we're a social enterprise based in Karachi, and we work on socio-economic equality through systemic and scalable solutions, both in the area of vocational training and in the health services. So it was through the inspiration of our nation's beloved Idi Saab that our founders, Arif and Faisal Naqvi, launched the Aman ambulances, which is Karachi's only state-of-the-art life-saving ambulance. We have qualified paramedics, nurses, and doctors on board, along with critical medical equipment, and we try and stabilize and treat patients en route to the hospital. And so far, we've conducted over 900,000 interventions in Karachi with just a modest fleet of about 60 ambulances. And in a city of over 20 million people, there's a great set of challenges that we still face even after 70 years of the existence of this nation. And these challenges have not been addressed to the extent that they should have been. So a study that was conducted by RCRC, that was also mentioned earlier, which revealed that the ambulance staff was the most vulnerable group amongst healthcare workers, where nearly 40% ambulance staff had experienced verbal violence and 27% had experienced physical violence in the last 12 months when the study was conducted. It's hard to believe, but it is the reality that we live in right now. To add to these problems, we've got the ever-increasing traffic congestion, the unstable law and order situation, the lack of civic-mindedness by drivers, and most importantly, the absence of emergency protocols for ambulances, and these are just some of the primary issues that we face. When it comes to Aman ambulances, we do have certain life-saving equipment that can buy some time for patients. But what about the rest of the ambulances in Pakistan, where they don't have that luxury? They're less equipped and they're unable to reach the hospital on time due to our indifference and negligence on the road. The sound of a wailing siren in any civilized country automatically makes you very alert and makes you want to do your bit in clearing the path for emergency services to do their job. So why is it that in Pakistan, we still continue to remain indifferent to the constant message that the ambulance is trying to give us through its loud wailing sirens? And as Shahzad Nawaz very eloquently put it, it's screaming Zindagi to us. So Healthcare in Danger, which was the initiative of International Committee of the Red Cross, is a much needed campaign and a project that it promotes conducive and safe environment for healthcare and for patients and just generally to improve the protection of healthcare from violence. To address this issue, ICRC launched a media campaign last year also for ambulance drivers with the slogan, Ambulance ko rasta dein, isme aapka koi apna bhi ho sakta hai. It's definitely a thought to reflect upon. It's something that really is close to my heart also. And this campaign received an overwhelming response. During the campaign, there was an 18% improvement. 1 month later, it was a 16% improvement on the way people gave way to ambulances. And the few key issues that were highlighted in last year's campaign were, of course, traffic congestion and negligence by drivers. And then there was buses that stopped suddenly on the road. And of course, the VIP protocol that can stop ambulances. So this is why campaigns like these are not just important, but they're actually crucial for healthcare in Pakistan. So Aman Foundation is very proud to partner with ICRC once again in the second phase of this campaign, Pehla Zindagi. And I laud the efforts of ICRC this time around in bringing together so many like-minded partners to expand the discourse and the discussion and just the sheer public and private stakeholders that are currently involved in this campaign is quite laudable, and I'm really hoping to see that at the end of this campaign there's going to be a much bigger improvement and some of the key things that we are able to successfully achieve the mission that we've set up on. So to reduce the burden of the perils that the healthcare industry faces, we all have to work together to bring a change in public policy, change in traffic rules, a much more stringent management of traffic by the law enforcement agencies. I do see that up north in Lahore, the traffic rules are followed much more than they are in Karachi. We need increased coordination from a centralized point for emergency protocols, which should include hospitals, trauma centers, traffic police, rescue workers, and ambulance drivers, and ambulance staff in total. But the most important and the key change that is required, I think, is the shift in mindset of people. Unless there's a mind shift by every perpetrator, and that includes you and me, the behavioral change that we've envisioned for Pakistan will be very difficult. But I think we can make it work. And that is why, with the efforts of each and every individual listening to this, who can play a key role in communicating this message to the grassroots level, we can guarantee its success. Personally, I take the pledge to give way and respect road rights for ambulances, and although I lost my father, I believe there are plenty of fathers and mothers and brothers and sisters whose lives we can save. I would once again like to thank ICRC for their unwavering commitment to this cause, and I leave you with these inspirational words of no other than Idi Saab, who once said, "I do this work for the common people, and part of that work is creating a general awareness of such problems that exist, because my work is beyond class, creed, and religion." Thank you very much.
and gentlemen, I would like to thank Ms. Sajida for sharing her thoughts. Rules, coordination, and behavioral change were the key words that she highlighted during her speech. Now, I would like to request our speaker, as an administrator par excellence, whose vision and commitment had made tremendous changes to the way we see emergency services in Punjab and the country. The DG Rescue 1122, Dr. Rizwan Nasir, has been instrumental in ensuring a bigger and wider reach of the campaign to the grassroots level. Please welcome him on the stage. Thank you, sir.
Respected Health Minister of Pakistan, Chairman, Camera, Head of Delegation, Mr. Vito Stalker, the partners, the Red Cross, Red Crescent family, and all of the partners over there for this campaign. I'd just like to congratulate ICRC for initiating the campaign related to the healthcare workers and bringing all stakeholders on board. You know, this reminds me of when we started this movement going back in '91, when I used to wonder as a trauma surgeon that when you had an accident, the study that we did revealed that there was 95% chances that in case of any accident or emergency, you will not get an ambulance. We had some ambulances in Lahore, like for instance, we had 50 ambulances, but they were never available to the people. So that person was never lifted from that site. But once he died in the hospital, the ambulance started moving and all traffic used to come to a standstill. I used to wonder, what kind of a nation are we? When he was alive, we didn't give him the right to way, and the ambulance was not provided. But the moment he's dead, you stopped all traffic for him. So why couldn't we save him when he was alive? Maybe he was the sole earning member of that family, because the people who die in these road traffic accidents and others, most of them are the sole earning members of the family. So that really, you know, I thought, what can we do about it? And this was really a challenge. And that's where we started some of the things that we could effectively utilize all our resources. And that's where I think when we started this entire effort, we never thought that we would ultimately end up establishing a full-fledged emergency service, and the government would actually establish this. Today, Rescue 1122, what we started has now expanded to all districts, to all tehsils of Punjab. We've had KP, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. I'm glad that Aman Ambulance Service, the first two batches in the first 3 years that we trained, we had it initiated from Karachi, now has expanded. Today, where we now setting standards for healthcare, emergency healthcare. I think through the Ministry of Health, if we are able to set the standards for basic right to life, the basic right to emergency care in case of any accident, emergency, and a disaster, and then ensure the provision of proper health services, it will be a big change. This initiative of the healthcare in danger, I think, is a big step forward in terms of the ICRC, because if we can bring about a behavioral change amongst our healthcare workers so that the violence does not initiate, and also amongst our people, that how they need to respect all those who are there to help them, I think it will be a big change and big tolerance that we will be bringing about to the people within our country. It is a gigantic task, but not impossible. I think when I think of that when we thought and we were establishing this service, everybody said it can't be done. Today, we have a system and a network in 2 provinces. It's all expanded to other provinces as well. We've rescued over 5 million victims of emergencies, maintaining an average response time of 7 minutes. But it's always difficult to provide that kind of a response time if people don't give way. And I think this is a landmark initiative of ICRC, bringing about that behavioral change amongst the people. Inshallah, through this, we will be able to bring about a big change. And in case of any emergency movement, failing to give way to these ambulances, obviously you've seen what it can do, the impact that it can have. I think this is where we all need to pledge that we will provide the basic right to life to any citizen in case of any accident emergency, and ensure that once they are provided with the services, the people also bring about a big change and ensure that the right of way is given to them. So Zindagi, पहले जिंदगी and एम्बुलेंस को रास्ता देने पे जो आज हम सब ने प्लेज किया है, मैडम ने आज प्लेज की है, आई एम श्योर एक ये बहुत बड़ा चेंज होगा और हम इसी चेंज के जरिए बर्दाश्त को पैदा करेंगे। हम एक जिम्मेदार शहरी को पैदा करेंगे जो एक जिम्मेदार शहरी इस एम्बुलेंस को रास्ता भी देगा, और हर बंदा जब एक तालीम तरबियत के साथ साथ हम फर्स्ट एडर इन एवरी होम की भी हमारी कोशिश है थ्रू ICRC एंड अदर्स कि हम हर घर में एक बंदा ट्रेन करते हैं ताकि हर बंदे को घर में भी एक एहसास तहफ़्फ़ुज़ हो और उसके साथ साथ हम जिम्मेदार शहरी बने और अपने हमसायों का भी ख्याल रखें और बर्दाश्त पैदा करें और जब भी कोई एम्बुलेंस जाए तो उसको रास्ता दे सके। आइए हम सब मिलकर इस चीज़ को जो आज हमने अहद किया है उसको आगे लेकर चलें और एक सेहतमंद और महफूज पाकिस्तान बना सकें। सबको जो पार्टनर्स आज हैं और जो ICRC हैं उन सबको मैं वन अगेन मुबारकबाद पेश करता हूँ, सबका शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ और उम्मीद करता हूँ हम सब लोग मिलकर एक सेहतमंद और महफूज पाकिस्तान बना सकें। शुक्रिया।
Thank you, sir. Indeed, your experience in the field of rescue and emergency services is invaluable. Every year, the ICRC holds an essay competition on some very thought-provoking topics. The idea behind the essay competition is to provide a stimulus to the intellectual capacities of a society highly rich in this regard, and to provide dissemination channels to the outcome of this activity. The topic of this year's essay competition was, in English category, Give Way to the Ambulance. Somebody you love might be in there. What we all need to do to facilitate ambulances in traffic. And in Urdu category, Ambulance को रास्ता दें. इसमें आपका कोई प्यारा भी हो सकता है. ट्रैफिक में एम्बुलेंस के साथ ताउन के लिए हम सब की क्या जिम्मेदारी है? The topics were advertised to print and social media, and a total of 900 participants submitted their essays, out of which 600 were registered for the competition. Following a process of careful and tedious selection by the panel of judges comprising ICRC and external consultants, we finally have our top 3 selections in each category. Out of the 6 winners, 4 are present with us today. I would request the Honorable Chief Guest to please come on stage and hand over the awards to winners of the essay competition. Thank you. I would request Mr. Amir Ali from Quetta to come on stage and collect his prize for bagging 3rd position in the Urdu category of the essay competition. Mr. Amir Ali. Mr. Tazib Bacha from Gilgit is requested to come on stage and collect his prize for securing 2nd position in the Urdu competition. And I request Mr. Nair Afaq from Islamabad to beg top position in the Urdu category. Please come on stage as well. Mr. Tazib Bacha. Mr. Tazib Bacha has 2nd position in the Urdu competition. Mr. Nair Afaq. Mr. Nair Afaq secured the 1st position in the Urdu category of the essay competition. Coming to the winners in the English category of the essay competition, let me invite Ms. Zulfishan from Lahore to come on stage and please collect a prize for securing 3rd position in the English section of the essay competition. The top 2 position holders, Ms. RastaDein. The top 2 position, Ms. RastaDein and Dr. Shiraz Khan couldn't make it to this ceremony. I request Honorable Chief Guest to please proceed to her seat. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to request His Excellency Mr. RastaDein to come on stage and distribute the shields amongst the representatives of our partner organizations from Islamabad for their commitment to the Public Pledge campaign and making this campaign possible here in Islamabad. First of all, I would like to invite Ms. Biba Shahnaz, Head of Communications, Rescue 1122. Please come on the stage and receive your shield. I would also request Saeed Javed Muzaffar, Additional Deputy Commissioner, Islamabad. I would request Ms. Aisha Jameel, Station Director, Islamabad Traffic Police, to come on stage and receive her shield. Ladies and gentlemen, I would especially like to mention about the commitment and the interest of SSP Traffic Police, Mr. Malik Matlu, who has been really kind enough for his support in Islamabad. Sir, please come on the stage. SSP Traffic have been playing a very integral part in our campaign. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, before moving to the last session, we would like to show you a video which will be a part of the awareness campaign this year.
सुबह के 7:45 बजे थे, तो ट्रैफिक बहुत था। फिर मुझे सायरन सुनाई दी, एम्बुलेंस देखने से गए। अगर मैं रास्ते से हट गया तो मेरी जगह चली जाती। मेरी बीवी मुझे फोन करी थी, लेकिन मैंने नहीं उठाया, अभी को वहाँ मिली थी, जो कि काफी अच्छी थी। तब मैंने अपनी बीवी को फोन किया, उसे खुशखबरी सुनाने के लिए, जो कि उसने पहले 1 घंटे में उठा लिया। वो कह रहे थे हमारी बेटी आज सुबह सीढ़ियों से गिर गई, एम्बुलेंस टाइम पे हॉस्पिटल ना पहुंच सकी, वो नहीं बच सकी। मैं जानता हूँ आप क्या सोच रहे हैं, लेकिन कोई और एम्बुलेंस भी तो हो सकती थी। कितनी होती है कराची में एक वक्त में? शायद सैकड़ों। लेकिन अगर थी
साथ में जो फोन आया, दूसरी तरफ एक औरत थी, बहुत सहमी हुई। उससे कहा कि उसकी बेटी सीढ़ियों से गिर गई है और उसके सर से बहुत खून बह रहा है। जब हम वहाँ पहुंचे तो बच्ची की नब्ज चल रही थी। हमने माँ बेटी को एम्बुलेंस में डाला और इमरजेंसी की तरफ बढ़े। फिर हम फंस गए। माँ कहती थी कि रास्ता देना सबका है, अपनों के आगे से मुश्किलात हटाना सबका है, लेकिन एक गाड़ी हट ही नहीं रही थी। सारे बज रहे थे, मैं हॉर्न पे हॉर्न बजा रहा था और वो उसकी नब्ज डूब गई थी। वो हॉस्पिटल पहुंचने से पहले ही एक्सपायर हो गई थी। अगर हम पहले पहुंच जाते तो
हॉस्पिटल आने से
सुबह के पौने 8।
You like the video. Now I would once again request His Excellency that you stop it on stage and distribute the pledge shoes exclusively designed for chief guests in this office.
First of all, I would like to invite DIG Operations Punjab, Mr. Amir Zulfikar Khan, to come on stage and receive his shield. On the behalf of Islamabad Police, IG Police Mohammad Khalid Khattak was supposed to be here, but on his behalf, DIG Operations Amir Vice is here. So I would like to present the shield for the IG Police. In the end, we would like to give a shield to our chief guest, Ms. Saira Afzal Tara, Federal Minister for Health Services, Regulations and Coordinations.
Thank you, ma'am. We are grateful to the Honorable Federal Health Minister, Madam Saira Afzal Tara, for gracing the event with her presence and expressing her personal interest and support for this campaign. Madam, your presence is a source of encouragement and motivation for ICRC and its partners to carry forward this noble cause. During your tenure, you have always lent the support of government and the health ministry to various health-related initiatives in public and private organizations. Your presence here today confirms the same. With this, I would request the Honorable Chief Guest to please come on stage for our keynote address. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dr. Rizwanasi, Chairman Pemra, Mr. Reto Stocker, representatives from our police partners, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. International Committee of the Red Cross and everybody here, especially the Aman Foundation, AD Foundation, and all our partners. I just want to share that when I first received this unusual invitation to attend this ceremony, it made me think on what and why this campaign is. It was unusual because generally I am invited to ceremonies of either inauguration or laying foundations of health facilities to relate it to some policy level work. But this campaign was about a very basic and straightforward thing, that was give way to ambulance. Initially, I thought that while the ICRC and its partners are focusing on such a tribal issue, where we have so many other issues, and you don't believe that today I was in the parliament, I was just discussing with Absar Saab and Dr. Nasir, the whole parliament was debating on Khatm-e-Nabuwat issue, which does not exist. We being Muslim believe that this is part of our religion and faith. But you know, everybody was talking about it. So in a country like Pakistan, where we have so many issues which we are facing, this, when first time I still remember that ICRC people came to me and gave me this presentation, So I thought that why, we always talk about life. So this is what it actually is. So I thought that this is something which is bigger in various ways. And I just said that put yourself in the shoes of a person accompanying the loved one when we're watching this movie and struggling between life and death and stuck in a traffic. Imagine the agony, pain and helplessness, frustration with the patient's relatives and the ambulance drivers go through in such a situation. Now my experience is that whenever I have to go to a function or a wedding or any ceremony, if the flight is 10 or 15 minutes late, even then I am frustrated. And if there's some block, we all know that on the toll plaza now there's a long queues. But then I was imagining that I am just being frustrated and helplessness because I'll not be there on time. But imagine for a person whose relative, mother, father or son is in an ambulance and and you can't imagine, and even you feel that the people in front of us don't know what is behind us. So many times I feel that it is because they don't have another way also, because we don't have a separate lane like developed countries for ambulance or emergency. But in some ways, whatever you do, you make one way, but at the end of the day, it is the responsibility of everyone on that road to give way to that ambulance. And I think the movie which they have shown is quite, sensitive. And I feel that the responsibility, Rafsar Saab is here, but now there is that social media era. Everybody, even the sweeper has 2 mobile phones and they are on the WhatsApp. So the only message what we can do is that we can give this to, I can talk to PID also, they have their own team, we can talk to PTA also, because they send so many messages for their own. This is a social responsibility. And it's not only the governments or the provincial health ministries or the disaster management can do it, this is our collective responsibility. So if you look at developed world, this is a society issue. Behavior change which Dr. Razwan Nasir was mentioning, the only problem which we are facing in health, that is a kind of mindset and a behavior change. We are providing health facility, polio drops, routine immunization at the doorstep, but people are not willing to take it. We were giving presentation to former Prime Minister Mia Nawaz Sharif Saab on Prime Minister National Health Program, and you will be surprised to know that the 30% of the people have never swiped their card. They have never used it. And when we did a survey और मैंने उनसे फोन करके पूछा, उन्होंने कह दिया मैं जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ी. किसी ने कह दिया हमारा अस्पताल तो यहाँ से दूर है. मैडम आपका बड़ा शुक्रिया. So मैंने कहा कि मतलब look at the, फिर एक ने कहा कि नहीं हमें मसला था तो हमने हमारे हकीम से दवाई ली. So मैंने कहा you are entitled to 3 lakh rupees. Why don't you go to a private hospital? They are also empaneled. So the basic problem which we are facing, that is behavioral change and a mindset. This is something different, but health is our least priority. And most of us, even it has nothing to do with the literacy rate also. Even in the elite class, if you look at it. So this is something which we have to make. I talked to Baligur Rahman also that whether we should include it in the syllabus, some basic thing, hygiene and all these emergencies. And I must appreciate ICRC and all our partners who are doing this thing, because these are baby steps. In other words, we are educating our society. Then we were discussing with Dr. Rizwan that road safety, that is another, and I'm always there. We as a federal health minister, and our role is coordination and regulation. What we can do is we can always provide with some guidelines to the provinces. They are the implementers. I don't want to name, but you can compare all the provinces. I belong to a rural background. I have had more than 300 villages in my constituency, but you won't believe it, the services the Punjab government provided, especially for maternal and child health. There's a 24/7 ambulances given to the district management, which Rescue 1122 is operating. That number is not famous like 1122 is, so for that we have to make some efforts. But they give facility, and now there is no delivery case or koi case हमारे घर में नहीं होता. They have given the target also. And for maternal and child health, if there is some problem with some mother or child, that ambulance is there. This is the reason that we have included this travel allowance in our Prime Minister Health Insurance. अगर एक बंदे को 1000 रुपया खर्च करना पड़ता है कहीं जाने के लिए, उसके पास वो ही नहीं है तो वो 3 लाख का इलाज कैसे कराएगा? पहली चीज तो ये है that they have some 1 or 2, 3,000 in their pocket also. So I must say, public sector, I mean, the best thing is that it is realization everywhere. Such initiative which I mean, world have taken, 20, 30, 40 years before, हमें आज ये करने की जरूरत पड़ी है। और बदकिस्मती ये है कि इसके लिए we have to launch a campaign भी, ये एक बेसिक चीज है जो कि आपके अंदर होनी चाहिए, लेकिन इसके लिए भी हमें अवेयरनेस कैंपेन करने के लिए, और वो है and totally agree the patience. I mean, when I was in school, मुझे नहीं पता था कौन शिया है, कौन सुन्नी है, कौन अहमदी है। After I've done my matric, I was in hostel, और मुझे बाद में पता चलता था, कुछ के नामों से हमें अंदाजा होता था, but there was patience in the society. People used to live with us, my cousins, everybody. Now, unfortunately, this is also one, segment of that, or you can say just the peak of the iceberg. The dynamite on which we are sitting, ये सारा कुछ हमें उसमें करना है, लोगों को रास्ता देना है, लोगों का हक पहचानना है, लोगों की आर्गुमेंट सुननी है। मतलब हम भी सुनना, मतलब उस पे अमल करना तो दूर की बात, भी look at our talk shows, look at our, मतलब it's, look even in the houses. So this is something, I think this is one of it. What we have to do is that I think it's in every sector we have to launch campaign different, that how we can make, and some political parties when they say कि नया Pakistan, so I always say कि why नया Pakistan? मतलब I love my पुराना Pakistan, where everybody was, we were together. There are certain things which we definitely want to improve, technology, intervention of technology, new things, infrastructure. So, I mean, that is something which we want to do. I must appreciate the effort of ICRC and also all our partners. And also, I must say that as a federal health minister, I always feel that what we can do is, we are always available. Anything if you want to do in legislation, anything if you want to do some policy framework, we are ready to do it. And I propose that we must constitute a committee here in Islamabad, where all the stakeholders, and they must take a review after a quarterly review, that what we have done so far. Putting some effort, you achieved some 16% result in Karachi, but in Islamabad you will see, Islamabad traffic is much better as compared to Karachi. Here people have little more and the burden on the roads, and the roads are more clear. So what we can just make a pilot project, and for safety also. Another thing which I must say to Dr. Rizwan and everybody, please in road safety make helmet compulsory item. In both these Choti or Badi, I visited my trauma center. There were 350 accidents or log wahan pade mein. All those with head injury, they are referring it to general hospital, kisi ki tang, and they said that all these are motorcycles accident. Sri Lanka hamare jaisa mulk hai. I was in Sri Lanka 2 months back, even the small babies, you won't believe that 4 महीने का बच्चा गोद में उठाया, उसमें पता नहीं वो हेलमेट उस साइज की बनाते ही होंगे. So what we can do is we can reduce our casualties, we can reduce our mortality, और इससे tertiary care में भी burden कम होगा. जब referral DHU से और RHC से काम होगा तो you will see. So वो 350 के 300 वो मोटरसाइकिल पे थे, the whole family is on motorcycle. एक तूफान है. 5 people are sitting on motorcycle, and when you talk about तो कहेंगे गरीब आदमी क्या करे? भी गरीब आदमी सब कुछ करे, पर उसकी जिंदगी भी तो हम बचाएं. So at the end of the day, I think this is a separate thing, but for a road safety and rescue 112, we are always there. Anytime you can come, we are having a conference, international conference next week. After that, I'm free. So we can sit together. If you want to make any legislation, if you want to make any policy guidelines for all the provinces, we are always there. I must appreciate our partners like Aman, ED, and all those in private sector who are working there. And I must say Karachi is very lucky for that purpose. You hardly see any public or any hospital ambulance on the roads. They are always private organization. Kabhi Chipa, ED, Aman, ye sare kar rahe hain. And I've been told my DG emergencies that the ambulances, China gave us 80 ambulances, state of the art. 20 we gave to Sindh and 20 to Punjab and rest of the other provinces. and Sindh government gave those ambulances to Aman Foundation. So I think this is a public-private, we can must hold hands. और हुकूमत मैं आपको बताऊं, it's impossible, not difficult, it's impossible for only government. जो challenges भी हैं, whether they are in health or education, के अकेले हम करें. Unless or until as a society we can do it. For future, I must say that in future, if we get any ambulances, I must give to all those people who are working in this. So I think the messages, WhatsApp messages, anything which you want to say, record from us, I'm all there. PEMRA chairman, we always talk about PEMRA, but I think unfortunately, there are many other things which are involved with it. It's very difficult. Sometimes, you know, courts, sometimes some people behind them, और हर वो बंदा जिसके खिलाफ आप एक्शन लेते हैं अगले दिन उस पे लेके आ जाता है. और यही वजह है कि there is no accountability and this is the reason that everybody is free. So मैं ये कहूँगी उनसे कि सोशल जो आपका कुछ है टाइम पब्लिक सर्विस के लिए, तो उसके लिए these messages are ideal. So just to sensitize the people that how we can make this thing success, because this is life. और मैं बिल्कुल ये कहूँगी कि even जान है तो जहान है. So definitely पहले जिंदगी है और फिर कुछ और है. वो जिंदगी होगी तो सब कुछ होगा. And this is a message which we have to convey to everybody. Once again, I am grateful to organizers. Sorry for being late. Actually, today I was busy in my business in assembly. So there was question hour. And you know, there's a lot of criticism from the opposition. Kitne wazir bana liye, phir bhi nahi aata. I don't have any MOS or parliamentary secretary. That's why I was there. Thank you very much. Pakistan Zindabad.
Thank you very much, ma'am, and we are really grateful for your kind words, and definitely ICRC is going to look towards you for all these policy-making things. Now, in the end, I would like to request Mr. Hamza Shafkat to come on stage and receive a shield from Madam, and he is here to represent Commissioner Islam. Thank you very much, ma'am. In the end, I would request our volunteers to please come on the first row and take the pledge from our guest of honors and give them the certificates that we have produced for this campaign. On the behalf of ICRC, I would like to thank all our partners for the campaign, guests from the government department, hospitals, civil society and media for taking out time off your business schedules and supporting this campaign. The ceremony is officially closed and now we are all going to proceed towards lunch. Thank you very much for your presence. Thank you.